get it back. We've partnered at our company. We have what's called an enterprise agreement with a company called HomeBot, and they've got a technology that has been fantastic for me. And Jeff will go through some of my stats and some of my realtor stats that I've already got with this system. This system isn't something you have to partner with me on. This is something that you can get on your own without having to connect to an actual loan officer. And there are other companies that have loan officers that are attached to it that you can partner with. But once you go over a certain limit of customers in the HomeBot system, there is a fee to you and a fee to me for RESPA compliance to make sure that we don't ever get, some $30 million lawsuit like Wells Fargo gets all the time, Bank of America and all that. But anyway, I wanted to have this meeting because what you will see on this realtor presentation is you will see a way to reconnect with your past clients. Now, if you're newer in the business and you don't have a big book of business yet, this is also a great tool for you to get leads from, but also to keep track of your customers. And believing your customers love seeing a report every month about their house. Because I know that everybody goes out, socializes, whatever, talks to people, goes to people's house, parties, whatever. The topic of their house always comes up. And down here at the lake, usually the value of their house comes up. So this report at the lake is, I think, an outstanding way for you to get back in touch with your database. So if hopefully the speakers and technology will work where Jeff can speak. Are you there, Jeff?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. We can definitely get started on my end. I'm Jeff. I'm a success manager here at HomeBot. Just here to chat with you guys about our platform today. So I'm going to go ahead and get my screen shared here. And hopefully this works. Let's see here. Can we see the shared screen?
Not yet.
All right, let's try a different way here. Sometimes it doesn't work when it's on a projector like this. We should be good. Come on. How about now?
Yeah.
You see that? Cool.
Yeah.
So before I even jump into this presentation, Ron was talking about his stats inside of our platform, which I'll explain to you in a little bit. But I just want to show you how his account is performing over the last 30 days. So in this platform, we do show you how your account performs every 30 days. So you understand how your investment is working, right? So you're getting a little bit of an idea of what kind of return you're getting on the investment. You can see here, over the last 30 days, Ron has connected with 133 people in his database. That's 78% of his database. And he has a unique engagement of 40%, which means he uniquely engaged with 68 people in his database in the last 30 days. Now, this fluctuates every day because every 30 days, someone could be clicking in or not. But I just wanted to show you that. And then for a lot of you realtors in the room, this will be important for you too in the platform, your buyers, right? So your standalone buyers, whether that be a homeowner that is looking to purchase a home or a homeowner that, or a buyer that doesn't own a home, you can upload those into our database too. And he is engaging with them as well. I'm sure a lot of you have used marketing materials or you've used mailers, etc. When they talk about their engagement rates and their open rates, across the board, typically industry-wide, they're 20% and under. HomeBot's unique engagement rates are 40% with a 70% open rate. So it's just something that I want to start with, show you Ron's profile. This is a real testament to our tool. This isn't my fluffed account. This is his true metrics. Ron, I don't know if you want to add any tidbits before I jump in about your account.
No, but I would like you just to, if you could touch briefly about the owners of HomeBot and how it all came about.
Yeah. So HomeBot, our focus here was to provide an opportunity. Then Ron kind of alluded to this. That's a little bit different from Zillow, Realtor.com, Redfin, right? Anytime that your clients are going to those websites, they're accidentally selling off their data when they're clicking on buttons. So they'll click on a listing and then they'll have a bunch of agents start giving them a call and they're getting inundated with phone calls. HomeBot's completely different from that. HomeBot's mission is to empower you and your clients to learn about their asset, which is their home, right? And give them monthly updates on their biggest asset. But we're also here to position you in the industry as a trusted advisor and get your branding in front of them month over month. Our goal is to keep you top of mind so that your database will think of you when they're thinking of a transaction because you're sending them these monthly reports that show your face, show your name, show your company and your phone number and your email. The whole idea is to keep you in front of them so that when they're ready to transact, they'll think, hey, Ron has been sending me this monthly update on my home. I'm actually thinking of doing a transaction. I'm going to give him a call. And when it comes to your side of this platform, you're also staying in front of that database by tracking their activities inside of our app, kind of like how Netflix works, right? So Netflix, you watch a bunch of shows and movies and it starts making suggestions for you. It's tracking your behaviors. HomeBot's doing the exact same thing. We're tracking the behaviors that your database is doing inside of their home digest, so their home reports every month, so that you can have an opportunity to have some proactive outreach and reach out to them when you're doing some proactive calls. So like quick example here, Vivian might be looking at some home markets, some selling signals. This is a good opportunity for Ron to do some proactive outreach, reach out to Vivian. She might be maybe looking to transact in the next few months, but it's giving you an opportunity and a crutch to start a conversation with those clients as opposed to you waiting for them to give you a call. Any tidbits you want to add, Ron? Sorry.
No, you got it.
Cool. I'm going to just jump in right to the presentation then. And feel free to jump in at any point, ask questions. I can't hear the room. So Ron, if you can just monitor the room for questions. And then I am recording this as well. So I'll get this recording out to everybody. So what we're here to talk about today is how HomeBot can help you engage your database, right? Your biggest asset is your database, all of the past clients that you've worked with, any of your new prospects, and then we'll also talk a little bit about lead generation too. So we'll talk about why HomeBot exists, which we just covered, why you should be on the platform, and again, how to engage your client database. Quick little thing here, our mission here is to connect people to make informed homeownership decisions together. And let's just jump into it. So I want to paint a picture for some of you in the room. I'm sure a lot of you have had these really great transactions. You close on a home, you maybe bring them a bottle of champagne and you start sending them postcards, happy birthdays, etc. after you close. You have this really good experience and you think to yourself, oh, they're definitely going to call me again when they transact on their next home. But then 3 to 5 years later, what happens? You're walking down the street and you notice that they have their home listed with someone else. And you think to yourself, well, I had this really good experience with them 3 to 5 years ago. I bought them a bottle of champagne. I send them postcards. Why didn't they call me again? Well, you're one of the many realtors they know, right? We'll be a little more realistic. And in your market, I know it's a little bit more different and it's a little more specific, but they're friends with a realtor who has kids that are the same age. They might share the same religious beliefs and worship habits with a realtor friend. They serve on the PTA with a realtor friend. They do volunteer work with a realtor friend. Their kid spends the night at their realtor's friend's house. Every month, that transaction that you did X amount of years ago with you, that gets cooler, while the engagement with the new real estate professional, that gets a little bit warmer, right? I'm sure some of you in the room know exactly what I'm talking about. You've gone through this experience. And so the question that I like to ask everyone in the room is, are you a transaction of the past or are you a trusted advisor? You can send them these silly little happy birthday cards and try to gauge them. Hey, you remember that transaction we did together? Same concept for their anniversaries. Hey, remember that transaction we did together? Merry Christmas. Remember that transaction we did together? Well, they do a lot of transactions with a lot of people. So they're receiving a lot of these remember our lovely transactions from plumbers, electricians, landscapers. I mean, the list goes on, right? So how does HomeBot help you graduate from that transaction in the past to a trusted advisor? Again, I want you to ask yourself one more time, are you a transaction of the past or a trusted advisor? Well, we're here to help you help them manage their biggest asset and stay in front of that client database every single month. Little tidbit here, by the time the average American retires, 83% of their retirement, that comes from their home equity, right? But homeowners aren't necessarily thinking of that large asset. They're thinking of their 401k, their savings, maybe their portfolio. They're not really thinking about that home equity and how much equity they've built in that home year over year. Realistically, homeowners, they lose out on a lot of wealth every year because they're not really great at making home finance decisions, right? So what would make them call you with questions? Well, we send them a personalized financial dashboard that empowers consumers to build wealth with the largest asset that they own while keeping you top of mind every month. So we send out a home report to them every single month that's automated. So you don't have to physically send this out. It shows them their home value, but a heck of a lot more past that, which we'll talk about. So every month, your clients will receive this email in their inbox, and it's coming from you. So yes, there is a little bit of HomeBot branding, but you can see here at the bottom, it's your branding. So we'll have your photo, your name, your contact information, NMLS, the company that you represent, and then we're trying to drive them inside of this home digest by prompting a little see your value button. So that's where we talk about unique engagements. And it's really simple too. You'll upload your clients when you create a profile. Your clients are going to click in and explore their digests. Again, that's a 40% monthly engagement rate. We'll track your clients' engagements, their behaviors, so that you know who to contact, when, and what to contact them about. At a minimum, HomeBot's a crutch to a conversation. A lot of professionals that use this platform just use us as that barrier of entry to a phone call, where you can say, "Hey, I set you up with HomeBot. How are you liking the content?" So it gives that proactive outreach a little bit more of a simple conversation. So I'm sure some of you have tried to make, calls to a previous database or even someone new. You don't really know what to say. You don't really know how to start the conversation. So this is a barrier of entry into that conversation at a bare minimum, on top of the content that you're providing them month over month. And this is kind of what it looks like. So we have different modules in this platform. We'll start with their value, and then we'll also prompt them what that means to them in terms of their net worth based off of the loan that they have on the home, right? So we'll show them what their equity looks like, how much they've paid towards principal, how much they've paid towards interest. We're really educating them on their biggest asset. But again, this is coming from you. So it looks like you're the one that's educating them month over month. And we're giving them information about items that they might not be thinking about, right? I'm sure your typical homeowner isn't sitting around thinking about how much they've paid towards the principal or interest or how much equity they have in their home. And then we'll also show them what current rates look like. So this is a big piece for the lenders, but it also helps you, the realtors in the room, because you're giving them an opportunity to start thinking about refinance when those rates start dropping. When rates aren't in a great stage where we can do refinance, we're also showing them, what if you spent an extra $300 towards that loan, so towards the principal? Here's what you could save over the life of the loan, and let's teach you a little bit more about this. So there's a lot of prompts inside this home digest that help them educate themselves, then also drive conversations back to you. And this is a big one too here. So we have 818,000 in equity in this home. How can I use that to maybe pay down some student loans, create an emergency fund, eliminate credit card debt? But again, we would drive these conversations back to you so that you can position yourself as a trusted advisor and say, let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at your asset. What are some of the best options for you? But helping them think about things that they might not be considering. And I don't know about your specific market, Ron. In terms of Airbnb, is Airbnb even a thing in the Ozarks, or how does that work?
It's probably the biggest thing, yeah.
Okay. Well, we have an Airbnb module. So a lot of investors use AirDNA. AirDNA is a platform that pulls Airbnb information inside of a specific market and zip code. So with their specific home, they can consider what it might look like to list that home for a short-term rental, right? So they could see if they wanted to list it, let's say $99 a night, 14 nights a month, the average monthly revenue that they'd net, and the average the annual revenue that they would net from that set. So we're also giving them a little bit of a leg up, but then we'll have chat prompts in there that we would drive it back to you. And so if let's say Ron was the realtor on this page, there'd be a pink chat bubble and say, hey, Ron, I want to consider listing this home for Airbnb. Can you help me out? But then it can also start a conversation of, well, here's what short-term rentals look like. Have you ever thought about long-term rentals or purchasing an investment property? So again, starting that conversation. Same concept for purchasing homes too, right? So we'll prompt them to think about buying another home, whether that be their dream home, an investment property, maybe rent the home and buy another, or sell it and pocket the cash. But these little prompts, there's 22 chat prompts where we would drive the conversation back to you and say, hey, Ron, what's the best option for me? You get an email, you'll know exactly when they send that message so that you could proactively reach out. It's almost like a call to action, if you will. We also have a buyer side of this platform. So we send out that 30-day homeowner digest, but we also have an option for you to nurture your buyers, right? Whether that be a homeowner that is looking to purchase a home or a standalone buyer that doesn't own a home yet, they're a renter. You can add buyers also. I will throw this in there though, that product is unlocked only when you co-sponsor with a lender on our platform. So there are some benefits to partnering up with a lender on the platform as opposed to doing this by yourself. But you can nurture your buyers with a monthly report also and stay top of mind throughout the purchasing process. So they can go into our platform, favorite some local zip codes and start understanding how those zip codes are performing. And then we'll send them a monthly update on those zip codes. Again, you're the local expert, right? So this is just intended to get them thinking about that purchase. The idea is that they'll look at these emails, they'll look at this content, but then reach out to you so that they can have further context. And that's where you say, yeah, I'm the local expert. I have the MLS access. Let's actually start looking at homes that are on the market, right? The whole idea is to get you in front of them so you can have those in-person appointments.
Jeff, I also think a huge advantage that you have is you have national data. So we're a vacation destination here at the lake, but we also have a lot of people that live in Florida and Texas and in Arizona. They move periodically or buy something in another area. So the HomeBot report can also alert the agents when they're actively seeking in another market to make sure that they're not, that they're going to go sell, if they want to sell their house and move permanently, or if they're just looking for another house. And they can also get possible referrals for another market. So I just wanted you to bring that up.
Really good point. We have national coverage. So this product is available to anyone in the United States. And just like Ron was mentioning, you'll get notifications when they start favoriting markets. And let's say it is Florida and you don't have a license in Florida. Well, boom, that's an opportunity for a referral, right? So then you can send out the referral and say, hey, they're looking in this market. I'm not licensed in that market. Let's get a referral going. It's a great point to make. That monthly email also directs buyers to our enhanced listing search tool. It's called HomeBot Home Search, which we are working on national coverage. And we do have national coverage, but we're always working on getting more coverage. Just like any kind of search tool, that requires us to get MLS access, become part of that MLS, and then we can get syndicate that data. But this is something that's a little bit different from, let's say, Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, right? I talked about this a moment ago, but those websites, they sell off their clients' data, right? They go click on a listing and they click one button that says speak to an agent. They fill out their information. They think that they're getting to the listing agent, but we know that that's not the case. Let's talk about Zillow. Zillow has that flex program, right? Where realtors will pay thousands of dollars for one lead, and your client is becoming that lead, right? So with our home search, we are a protected home search for your database where your clients can come in and look at listings. But when they start clicking on buttons and asking questions, guess what? It's not being sold. HomeBot doesn't sell data at all. It'll drive right back to you. So any of those buttons that they're clicking within our platform, it's driven right back to you and you'll get direct messages. So this is intended to protect your database. Just some quick information on it. Native home search, and it's an experience layered with financial insights. They can search markets, view listings nationwide via our partnerships with hundreds of MLSs, which again, we are constantly expanding. And then they can favorite listings, receive alerts in real time, and the MLS is, while the MLS is updated. So this is updated daily. We are syndicating directly from the MLS. They can create a personalized and dynamic search experience with their profile, and adjusting the buyer profile will allow your clients to search with confidence and again, not sell off their information. But we also have this little layered section on the right side that's a home finance insights. So it empowers your clients to think like an investor, where they'll put in their financial profile. And this is something that you could walk them through to where they understand, what kind of price point they can look at. And then we'll grade each listing they're looking at, either a weak buy, a fair buy, and a smart buy. So let's by colors. So let's say, you do a pre-approval and you have a conversation with your clients. They could probably afford around 450 to 500,000 as their max, right? So our financial profile will show that. And so if they're looking at $1.2 million homes, that's a really cool home. It's really pretty, right? But that's going to be a weak or fair buy based off your financial profile. So it's also setting realistic expectations. I'm sure some of you in the room have had that conversation where you set a price point with your client and then they start sending you listings well above what we know that they can afford at that price point. This is kind of helping you set that realistic expectation so you're not wasting time in the market by them sending you listings that you and the lender know is probably not realistic for them. And then it's a quick and easy access to favorited searches and listings. So just a little extra information there for them, but it'll alert you for homes matching for that current search that they're looking at. And then little extra piece that comes with this. So we do have a Chrome extension for Zillow. We know that they're probably going to still go onto Zillow, right? I'm sure a lot of you have had clients that say that they're start sending you Zillow listings. Well, if they have HomeBot and download our Chrome extension, we actually layer over those Zillow listings to again protect your clients. And so you can see here if they have questions, we can still drive those conversations back to you. We'll still grade the homes based off of the price points in their financial profile. But again, instead of them clicking this contact agent button and accidentally selling off their data and getting cold calls, we'll drive the conversations back to you.
I did not know that. I learned something.
It's pretty great. I used to work at Zillow, and I know exactly how that platform works. Anytime you click certain buttons on there, it gets routed to a call center. They start calling you, and then they try to route you to an agent. So we created a tool to kind of try to skip all of that and protect your clients, right? I had showed you this in Ron's profile earlier, but we have activity feeds to show you what your clients are doing in real time so that you're always in the first to know. That activity feed helps you know who to contact and when. You can see what your clients are doing in real time, whether your buyer is ready for a pre-qualification or your homeowner is considering downsizing. You'll be the first to know. So if you're logging in weekly, you'll be able to see the behaviors that your clients are taking. You can click on a client's name, view their personalized activity feed, and we'll let you know what to talk about and when so that you can reach out. We also send an activity email every single week. So there's a lot of automation with HomeBot to make your business more simple. So every week we'll show you the top 5 to 10 clients and their activities. And we'll also show you some of their financial information, right? So we're showing you the most motivated clients, your most active home buyers, your most active homeowners. So at a bare minimum, we're sending you a call list in an email every week that you can call. But again, that activity feed is that extra bread and butter. So on top of this activity email, I always implore new users to jump in, make a call list out of the activities that we're showing you. We're teeing it up for you. We can do as much as we can, but a lot of it comes down to your proactive outreach and how much you're communicating with your clients and getting in front of them.
So can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So is this something like I currently do this? When I look at it, every time it pops up, I look. So as a realtor, is this something that you, because there is financial information in there, because it knows a lot about me personally.
Well, so the way,
Not that I'm worried about everybody knowing, I'm just saying, as a realtor, is this something like you have a closing with a lender, right? That you would approach the lender to do this together?
well,
Because
so,
otherwise you wouldn't have that
so the-
information.
so the question is, Charlotte already gets this HomeBot report. I guess maybe her lender subscribed to it when she closed on her mortgage. And her question was, for a realtor to do it, how does the financial data get in there? And is any of that financial data shared or
I don't necessarily, I mean, I'm just assuming that this is a question you guys have, because I feel like this is gonna be most beneficial for a buyer that has used the lender, right? Because the lender is going to have all that information that they plug in and all that stuff for that home that they just dealt.
So with me, with my company, when I close a transaction, all of my data is automatically transferred into the HomeBot system.
Right.
And if I have a co-sponsored agent that's also in the system, it will co-brand us together
Oh, automatically?
automatically.
Oh.
But if we're not co-branded together, then their financial data, they get the HomeBot report just like you do. And if a realtor does it on their own without a co-sponsor, I would assume the customer is going to have to update their own information. Maybe Jeff could tell us a little bit about, if an agent puts a closing in and they don't know the financial data, how does that get done?
Yep, good question. So I actually have Ron's profile pulled up here. So this is what it would look like for any of you in the room. So we do give you the option. Let me just put in an address here. So we do give you the option when you're adding clients to add sold and appraisal information. We give you the option to add loan information, co-borrower information, and also set them up as buyer profiles. Well, let's say you don't have that information, which I think is the theme of the question, right? So you don't have that information. How do we get that in here? I'm going to go ahead and save this without adding any of that additional information. If you have it, of course, it makes the Home Digest a lot more personalized for your clients, right? The whole idea is to customize this to their specific journey so that they understand how much equity they have in their home and they can start making those decisions on buying or selling. You're not always going to have that information, right? So when you manage your clients and go over to your homeowners, I'm going to give this a refresh because we just added me. And search my name. So this is my profile from Ron's view. So Ron can see all of the information. the AVMs, so that estimated value, home facts, and then my unique engagements. But Ron can also preview the report that I'm getting. So we pulled the value. We're using public record as well as CoreLogic and multiple other data points to determine these values. But remember, I didn't put in any loan information. It automatically populated here. So we are pulling that information from public record. Now, I will say non-disclosure states a little bit tougher. So if you are transacting in a non-disclosure state and that information just hasn't been uploaded from the county assessor, it's going to be hard for us to pull it. But here you can see we did pull the information. This is my parents' house. This is their current balance and the refi that they did in 21. We'll prompt your clients. Are these numbers correct? So either you or the clients can come in here and say yes or no. So if it's no, they know what their asset is, right? Or they can give their lender a call, but we'll let them put that information in themselves. And again, you can put that information in too, but we will try to pull what's available tied to the parcel. Kind of a long way to explain that. Did that answer the question?
I don't think that detailed information is in mine.
Okay,
Like, my most exciting thing for me, and I have no intention of selling my house, but is just to see on a monthly basis,
how
like,
much is,
right.
yeah,
how
accurate,
accurate-
how accurate do you feel like that estimate of your home is? Because this is where I run into the problem with sellers, is they come to me with their home lot estimate, which is about $30,000 more than what my CMA is coming up. Where are you getting your information to determine how much a house is worth?
Okay, so their questions are on your AVMs and whatnot, and then I also was gonna bring up the fact that, you know, the data on Zillow and Realtor.com and everything else is wrong too. That's the importance of connecting with your database to go ahead and do a new CMA. So can you kind of cover a little bit about the AVM process and how you come up with those numbers?
Yeah, absolutely. So just like any website, right? You're going to have these automated valuations. Every single one of these websites will have disclaimers, and so do we. They are simply estimates. They're not intended to replace you in the market so that you can look at comps and determine that true value. And comps can come up before we update that value. We're updating these values once a month, but some activities could have happened in the last 5 or 6, 7, 10 days. We haven't had the chance to update that value, but we're pulling again from public record. We're utilizing CoreLogic as our data source. But what's different here is that you can change these values. So if that value doesn't seem correct for whatever reason, that's why we're driving the conversation back to you to position you as the expert and say, hey, yeah, that estimate that we're giving you is a good starting point, but let me actually look at some comps in the area. Let me be the expert. And then we're trying to build that trust for you. So yeah, that value might be off for whatever reason, but the whole idea is to start that conversation with you. And we'll use this as an example. So HomeBot has my parents' value at 692. If you search any home on the web and look at every single website, guess what? They're all going to be different. Redfin is 712. Let's see if Zillow will pull up. Zillow, 710. And then I used to use Movado when I was an agent. Do we have Movado here? What does Movado say? Movado is what I used to use as a realtor. I trusted that more than Zillow or anything. It's loading, loading.
We don't record how much house sells. I mean, where are we getting?
Yeah, so that's that. At the Lake of the Ozarks, you're going to have a lot of conversations with people because we are a non-reporting county.
But a
Number
lot of
one.
agents are putting those numbers on Zillow. They can put those on there. They don't get it from public information, but the agent, and a lot of these agents are putting that on there, which is not good for us.
Right. So, but my main emphasis on HomeBot is for you to have that conversation so that you can,
Change.
when you change it in the system, that sticks. You know, it's not, I did the same thing when I sold my house. I went into Zillow and I updated the square footage and did all that stuff so that whenever my listing came up, people were going to be clicking on my listing and know that I'm not trying to overinflate the house or whatever. I did that just strictly because of my own personal knowledge, but if you go in here and you call your client 3 years ago that you did a home for, in the state of Missouri, in the last 5 years, we've got 56% average home appreciation rate. A first-time home buyer that bought a house for $150,000 5 years ago, who's had another kid in their family, needs more space, now has $100,000 in money trapped in that existing home, and they're afraid to list their home to go buy a $250,000 home that's going to be better suited for their family because they don't want to lose a 3.5% interest rate. Well, I can do that math for them if you haven't called me, but that math doesn't work. You can pay a 2% higher interest rate for a full year and save a hell of a lot more money than a 10% increase in price on a $250,000 house. So what this system does is it enables you, it actually forces you to answer more questions with your past database and engage them and update their values, because consumers read this report. They read this report. And as far as how the system works for us, from a loan officer standpoint, I invest a lot of money in this system for my clients because, I've 30 plus years in the business. I only uploaded the last, I think 2.5 years of closed clients because I didn't want a bunch of clients that I lost touch with 10 years ago getting a report, but, we invest a lot of money on this and we don't require the realtors to invest at all with us until they go above, if they turn pro and they go above 25 clients, for RESPA purposes, we have to both be charged $25. So I didn't want to have, I don't want to have 100 realtors at the lake sign up for a pro account. And I got a $2,500 a month bill for the thing without getting any business. But the whole point is for you to be able to get in touch with your past clients. And my ultimate goal, a lot of you know me better than others, but I'm all about housing. I have not done a second home loan this year. I only focus on people who live here at the lake, focus on people who are going to retire here at the lake. I focus on that market, and we can't get the first-time home buyer market freed up with everybody stuck in their homes at a 3.5% interest rate because they're afraid to buy a $400,000 house that they can afford. This system, and with your help and engaging your past database, I think we can make a difference and maybe spark something. I'm not the only one that has this idea. So you guys are in the room early. There's probably somebody else that's going to jump on it, but I'm telling you, the first one that's able to help get this market corrected is going to, over the next 5 years, is going to make an awful lot of money. Because I believe the next 5 years in real estate is going to be the highest paid people in the world are going to be the people who are in real estate for the next 5 years and are paying attention to their business. It's going to be huge.
I feel like that people don't, I'm not looking at this thing that's sent to me, set in stone, this is what my house will work. I'm not doing it. But I will tell you, during COVID, you can just see, as I go around, you can see it like that. And then over the past, 8 months or whatever, it's pretty much someone looking at the prices as much as I'm looking at, we're not increasing anymore. It's pretty much steady. That kind of thing.
And it shows way to pay off things quicker too, and things like that too, doesn't it? Show how to do.
Yeah, I don't get into all of that.
Okay.
Because I'm not doing anything. I just see what's going on with the house, But yeah, that would be super cool to go in and do all that stuff too, because there's a lot of people that are to change or sell or rent or whatever. So I don't know. I love it. Literally every month when it comes, I see that person's face in my face. Not that I necessarily make for living or whatever, but I see his face there. But I also look at it. I'm clicking into it. I don't just delete it. It's not boring to me. It's super cool to see what your, what your house is doing. And if I was I think it's awesome, I love it.
So we can go in and adjust that pricing and.
Yeah.
What.
You upload your database I suggest don't do the whole database. I mean, just take a block of customers each day, do them each individually. You can look at the report before it goes out. You can adjust those figures even before the first report goes out. If you do the whole database, yeah. Mhm.
Your face is in there.
Right.
That's nice. You know,
So with the APM, it doesn't take into consideration like front or not, second tier or whatever. But if you put in the amount that you're selling, sold the house for, or the amount that it's sold for in this, it's not shared with anyone outside.
Right,
And I'm
yeah.
wondering if the value would be compared to the amount you put in as far as gaining, because if I'm second tier, my value is going to be a lot higher than it really is. So I'm wondering if once we put in the actual amount, it'll be judged and.
So the question, Jeff, would be, let's say we update with the CMA, and then CoreLogic or, more data becomes available in the future. Does that value change, or how does it change going forward? Does it track in, appreciation rates, or, I mean, how do you determine the future value of what you've done on?
It does, yeah. So it'll track month over month based off of how the market's performing. So upward trend, downward trend. So you'll set that CMA. That's where we'll start. So when you set that value or recorrect that value, that's our starting point. We're not going to revert back. So when you set that value, month over month, we'll follow the trends of the market. Is there appreciation or depreciation, so that it's an accurate representation of how the market's actually performing? It's a really good question. And a lot of what realtors do.
Well, there's a CoreLogic, we share data in bulk. We don't share data in individual sales. So like our local MLS, which I've been trying to work on figuring out a way to get better data, because it would be helpful. But right now, the like your monthly stats from Missouri Association of Realtors, that data is available. And so it does track the market appreciation, depreciation, market sales, days on market, all that kind of stuff is available. The thing that we don't share is your house, what it sold for, when it sold for, because if you look on Zillow or Realtor.com or whatever, it just says it was for sale, and it's no longer for sale. And so that's all the data that it knows. But sharing the market data in bulk will create a fairly accurate. Yeah.
And a lot of it just comes down to educating your clients, right? And everyone in this room, that information, but your clients probably don't. So being proactive and having that conversation with them and setting realistic expectations helps a lot too.
So anybody have any more questions about buyer side, or? Can you touch real briefly on some of the ways that they could potentially use it to create leads and business?
Definitely. Let me go ahead and delete me in here. Well, there's a couple ways. So inside that home digest that your clients will receive every month, again, we're showing contact information here. Ron has an introductory video that they see the first time that they download this report. But there's a few ways. So we have natural lead gen, so organic lead gen, where let's say I'm sitting at the dinner table with my family and I want to, I'm showing them this report. I can share it with them directly. So I can add them into Ron's database by sharing it to him. We're just going to go back here. Delete this. I'm deleting myself, Ron, so you're not sending me emails tomorrow. We create these landing pages for you all. So this is inside Ron's account. Let's say you sign up. This is automatically created for you with your profile, but they're landing pages, which look like this. So build more wealth with your home. find out what your home is worth, right? Pretty generic, pretty basic. The idea is to make it sticky. What is my home worth? And you can put these on your website, in your email signature, LinkedIn. If you're more tech savvy and you want to do TikTok, Instagram stories, Facebook, like all those are places that you can place this. Someone would put in their home address, right? We would tease them with what the value of the home is, but then we hide the rest of the report. So get them really thinking, well, what is the rest of this content? So in order for them to unlock their free report, they have to put in their email address. A lot of realtors that I speak to will have a computer or an iPad pulled up at let's say an open house, and maybe not necessarily the homeowner section, but the buyer section or a property search. So we have the three different. Where do you want to buy a home? Well, it's in the zip code. So let's say 8016. Well, they'll use this as a check-in, and of course, as tech demo, it's not going to work right now. But I would put in my my zip code and then put in my email, and you can use that as a login sheet, or you have your typical sign-in sheet, and then you come in afterwards and you input all of your clients. So it's different ways to generate some leads for you. I will say this isn't necessarily a lead generation platform, right? Our core tool is to nurture your database, but we did create these tools for you so that you do have options for prospecting outside of how you're prospecting already. But any kind of prospecting that you're doing, anytime you get that client information, first name, last name, email, if you have a home address, great, not necessary. Put those into HomeBot, right? I'm sure you're prospecting in different ways. Put them in HomeBot. Let us nurture those leads for you. I don't know if you have anything you wanted to add to that, Ron.
No, so what do they got to do next? I mean, they can, I gave them the QR code to sign up without a co-branded account, and then I gave them the QR code for my co-branded account. So if they sign up as a co-branded account, does any of their information or their database, does any of that stuff come to me?
So you can't see each other's databases. If you co-brand, we'll co-brand you on their digests. The databases are kept separate. We think that data privacy is really important. So if anyone in the room were to sign up, let's say with you, you're only showing yourselves as a team on these digests. So you can send each other referrals, but all of the databases are always going to be kept separate. Your databases are always private. Anything that you upload, only you can see.
And then what is the cost between you being co-sponsored and not co-sponsored for them to get started?
Yep. So if let's say they co-sponsor with you, you can send out a free trial, 25 clients, no costs, no time associated to it. It's 25 clients. Outside of that, co-sponsored or not, it's 25 bucks a month for a block of 500 clients. Let's say you upload 1,000, it's $10 after that first 25 for 500 clients. So if you upload 1,000 clients, $35 a month, and then so on and so forth. So $25 a month would be the start. In terms of marketing materials and engagement tools, 25 bucks a month to nurture 500 clients kind of speaks for itself.
They do have something for insurance. It's the insurance module, but I'm not sure how that works yet. But, and then, of course, I told them about the rest of the compliance thing. So if they go above 25, then I also have to pay that fee as well. So.
Yep, and so that's a decision that you guys in the room, you can decide if you wanted to partner up or not, but they can still, anyone can sign up. It doesn't necessarily have to be tied to you.
All right, appreciate it, Jeff. How are you going to send me the video to get it out? Are you just going to send the link for the Zoom or?
Yeah. So Zoom typically takes about an hour. It'll upload to their cloud and then send me a link. I'll send that to you and then a PDF version of the presentation.
I appreciate you taking the time to do all this. I know that we've spent quite a bit of money getting this going forward, and I've had a fair amount of engagement, but your help is. How long have you been a company? How long have you been doing this?
I've been with HomeBot since December. I was with Zillow for 5 years before that. So
How long has HomeBot been around?
Oh, HomeBot itself has been around for 7 years, but we're just getting started. I would still consider us in the early stages of our company.
Yeah, but, I really appreciate you helping us out, and I'll be in touch. I'm
We'll
gonna
touch
also share this with our with Brian Conity. You know Brian, right? My area manager.
Yeah.
So he was supposed to be on this call, so he watch what he did. But he's one of the customers that engages in the reports. He put his Arizona house in there, and he constantly keeps hitting the button. I want a CMA. I keep getting these emails like, Brian, I don't have any agents in Arizona. I can't give you a CMA. But so that does work when you have your people in there and they want to get an updated value, you're notified immediately. And it sends you an email saying I need a CMA. And I try to protect my realtors that I've worked with in the past because I connect all of you with that client. And if they call me and they're not in the HomeBot system, I'm still going to try to get you that CMA. But it is helpful if you're in the system for me to be able to just click the buttons and send over to the realtor. But it's a great system. So appreciate it, Jeff.
Yeah, you're welcome. Everyone enjoy your day. Thanks for your time.
All right.
Thanks.
Later.